Welcome to Cake with Kiersey. I am your host, Kiersey. KINETIC will be joining us shortly. We got Mr. NEDDY NYCE
Yeah, you gotta
tonight.
know.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Too nice photography in the house.
Oh Lord, you're always promoting.
Self-employed. That's what it is.
Okay, can't knock the hustle. It is Tuesday, August 8th, and we are here serving you some cake like we do every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And you can listen to us. Send your friends over to join us over to vexradio.com. Sorry, to listen in and join the conversation. I'm going to tell everybody now, as long as you have Google Hangouts on your device and you are listening to the live broadcast, obviously, on Tuesday night, you can look out for the link when posted on vexradio.com or on our YouTube page. Because we're live there as well. And just as long as you have Google Hangouts, you can click on that link and join the conversation. So I'll be posting that at some point, maybe in the next, I don't know, half hour or so, or yeah, so you can call in and if you have any questions, comments, or want to challenge Mr. NEDDY NYCE or KINETIC tonight.
Challenge, eh?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I just like to mess with y'all. You know how I do. But anyway, yeah, so please, like I said, invite your friends. The link is up on my social media as well, Cake with Kiersey on my Instagram page. And yeah, so you can check the bio there and on Twitter, and that makes life easier for everyone. We also have a very special guest joining us, Miss underscore Azeez, Denise Azeez. Am I saying it correctly, Azeez? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for
Hello.
having me, guys.
Oh no, for sure. Thanks for making the time to join us. And Denise is here. I wanted her to come on, and NEDDY made it happen to share her experience as a regular um, participant. I guess I'll say that for now. Um, for the CARIBANA season, or the Toronto Caribbean Carnival, as it is the proper name for it now. And I should, just for anybody listening who is not familiar with the carnival, because I think we tend to just think, us here in Toronto of Caribbean background, we just tend to think everybody knows what it's about. But it's and it's actually now called PEEKS. That's the official sponsor, PEEKS. I don't really even
What's the
know.
name?
PEEKS, PEEKS. I don't even know what they do. Like I looked into it. I think it's an app or something. I don't know. But anyway, so they've now taken it over. I think this is the first year that they've taken it over. And it's a 3-week long celebration here of Caribbean music and culture and food. And it's actually the largest event in Canada of its type, or any cultural event. And I think it's like still considered the largest outdoor festival in North America. So,
Yeah.
and it's been going, this was the 50th year anniversary. So yeah, 50 years strong. And it's gone through some changes over the years, which is, I think, expected. This year it started, well, it always starts in July and then ends with the grand parade, like the big parade, which is like the highlight, I think, for most people, where you get to see all the masqueraders and their costumes and hear the music, see the bands, and get close up and close up, sorry, too close
Not
in
too
a lot of
close.
cases. No, too close, please.
No, too
Remember
close.
the other, we'll get into that. But yeah, so this is where you get to see everything up close. And I think it's amazing. It's still, I think, safe to say, probably one of the biggest income generators for our city.
Probably,
when
probably bigger than Pride, right?
Oh, I definitely think so. I mean, that's my opinion. It's our opinion. But I mean, just on all levels, as far as like the hotels and the establishments and I mean, clubs, restaurants, shopping, like stores, retailers, other events that happen in the city that people will attend since they're already here, that type of thing. So, I mean, people travel in, whether they're driving up from the States or flying in from all over the world. So obviously the airline industry benefits and everything like that. So I think, personally, I don't think it gets the love. I don't know if it gets as much respect as it should on for what it does for our city and how amazing I think it is. And it was I think, a problem-free, crime-free year. I don't think anything happened this year.
Anything happen?
Nothing major anyway.
I didn't see anything go down at the parade. I had a very, very peaceful time
Yes.
this year in comparison to other years, I guess people would say, with respect to stormers or having to run or anything like that.
Oh
I
gosh.
didn't have that experience this year.
So tell us more about how long you've been playing. So you were actually a part of the parade, because I actually posted her beautiful photo in her costume. So tell us who you were with and how long you've been doing it. And
Well, this year and every year, I have been playing Mass with Jamal McGlure and the Toronto Revelers. This was my 11th year playing with the Revelers.
wow.
And my 11th year playing Mass altogether. I've been, going to CARIBANA as a child. I can remember my mother taking us, my sisters and I, when it was on university, going down to the parade route, holding hands, being pushed, in the stroller and stuff like that. But as an adult, I didn't really embrace it until about 2007.
Okay. I didn't realize, Jamal. I didn't know.
Jamal's been doing it for that long?
Yeah, I didn't know it was that long.
Jamal actually had a band, has been playing or been producing Mass a few years before even I joined. I believe he was in the bands about maybe 2 years before.
Wow.
I think he had two other sections prior to my first year going. And the year that I started, the theme was Viva Las Vegas, and we actually won Band of the Year
Oh,
that year,
nice.
2007, and subsequently again in 2008.
Oh, nice. Okay. So how do you, okay, as someone who's never played and I don't know too much about it, how do you make a decision who you're going to play with, and the fact that you've stuck with the Toronto Revelers, yeah, for all your time? How did you come to that decision?
My decision to stick with the Revelers or even join the Revelers was that I found that the Revelers at that time, and possibly even a little bit now, was one of the only bands that was size inclusive.
Mm,
When I first started, as I got older, into my teens and would go to Caribana with my friends, playing Mass was never a thought for me because I never saw girls in my size playing Mass. The costumes were skimpy, all the girls were skinny, all the models were skinny that were at the band launches, and I never thought it was something that I could be a part of
really?
until
Okay.
2000.
Hmm.
And I mean, even to this day, I'm going to be honest, I won't name call any other bands, but
Call them out.
there have been, yeah, no, don't Eddie.
No.
But to this day, there are very, very few bands that include plus size models in their band launches. I can count and tell you that um, maybe about 5 years ago, I was the first plus size model to model for Carnival Nations. That was courtesy of the Bandit. Shouts out to the Bandit. Thank you for having me that year. That he was still with Carnival Nations and produced a section and personally asked me to model. And it was quite unfortunate that there were no other plus size girls out there on the stage. And when I hit the stage, I
Mm,
will say that the place erupted.
the crowd, yeah.
Because I think people were just like, oh, wow, look, someone who looks kind of like
Like
me.
me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I
that,
had on a
yeah.
two-piece costume. Truth be told, I had on a two-piece costume, and part of my body was covered, and I was covered in feathers and paint and glitter. And people were genuinely happy. I can also say last year, I think I was if not the only plus size model to model again for Carnival Nations, and that was in the White Peacock section with Natalie Namako and Flo King in their section. Shouts out to them for putting a plus size girl in a costume and on Nation's website, because I don't believe they had anybody else. And if they did, sorry to those girls, my bad. But I don't recall seeing anyone. Definitely no one that looked like me.
You know why?
I'm a good solid size 14, 16, right? And I'm not afraid to tell you that. So there were no other girls, I don't think, in that size range that were there up there modeling. I don't know why, Nettie. Why don't you maybe shed some
Because
light?
plus size women do not want to show themselves like that. I've known you for many, many years, and you're not afraid to, like, wear certain costumes and outfits or whatever, and you're not ashamed of your body.
I definitely am not, but I'm going to say that you're wrong on that one. It is that the band leaders and the section leaders don't want to showcase plus models, or they don't want to build a costume for plus models. Maybe thinking that will not play, but really what it is that they should just be size inclusive to give girls the option. I have many a skinny friend who would never wear a two-piece costume on the road and still wear one piece. So they need to have the option so that it is more inclusive.
Your phone's kind of cutting out.
Cutting out. Yeah, you're kind of cutting out now. A little more. Mm-hmm. Are you moving at all, or okay? No.
It's those dollar store headphones that you're on.
It could be dollar store headphones. Thanks, Nettie. Yeah.
What are you using? Beats by Dre?
Yeah, no, not at all. They came with my LG phone. Mm-hmm.
That's a problem right there.
No, it's not. No, no, it's now you sound good. But you were saying, yeah, like some slimmer women or
will never wear a two-piece costume because they're just not comfortable. Even girls that I know that are size 4 or size 6, right? So I think it's important for section leaders to just have options, one-piece options, full coverage options, tankini options, just for girls. I know a lot of slim girls who may not be comfortable with their midsection. They've had a baby, or they're just not comfortable with their their new quote-unquote mom tummy or whatever, and they need to have that option, right? There's lots of confident plus-size girls out there. I model and walk the runway with a ton of those girls all the time. We just are not given the chance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But you're speaking specifically about at the launches and the maybe being on the website, like when the bands are actually promoting themselves, not necessarily being in the parade.
On the road, there are tons of girls in all shapes.
Yes.
And sizes.
Right. Okay.
So, Nettie, you're right in that aspect, in that there may not be as many girls willing to go up on a website or go up on that big stage. Because if you guys have ever been to a band launch, Nettie, I know you've been to several band launches. Yeah. It's a huge production. And so we're talking lights and camera and media. And I've even been at the official launch, at David Pico Square, Nathan Phillips Square, and been the only, one of actually the only plus size girls out there. The Revelers have been on breakfast television, and I've been, maybe one of the only, if not the only plus size girl that they had a few years ago on breakfast television.
I saw that.
And the reason, thank you for that, Nettie. And the reason I go is so that other girls can say, hey, if she can do it, then I can do it. And hey, there's a band that is making these options and will provide this service for me and my friends who may need it.
Which is just smart. I mean, if you look at all designers, and I mean, everybody's kind of clued into that. And I think especially for our, not just, but for the Caribbean women and African women, like we tend to, there are a lot of us that are like, which I would call standard size, like 10, 12, 14. I mean, it's very common. And I mean, we're all shaped slightly, people are shaped slightly different, and some carried in a way where you couldn't really tell, or you might think they're smaller. You know what I mean? I'm sure you get that a lot, because I mean, unless people are really good at sizing, you know what I mean? And then not to stick on the whole size thing. That's one, this is one part of it, because there's so much more we're going to talk about. But it's, you can't even tell, because I mean, you go to one store and a size 12 is so different than a size 12 in another store. You know what I mean? So we're constantly having to adjust and change based on what they put to us, and it's, you know, marketing and it's all this other stuff. But glad you're out there representing it. And I think there's so many beautiful women of all shapes and sizes that are down there. And so this year, you, how was your experience compared? Because I know there were changes with the route itself. And I'm so curious to know how you felt that worked, if it was better or...
Truth be told, I'm going to be honest, the last couple of years, the Revelers have been usually in the top 3 bands to go out on the road. We've been number 1 quite a few times, actually. And for me, it's never been a bad experience. Last year, I believe we were number 1 on the road. And so there's never really any stormers that come through the band when you're number 1, because I'm going to be honest, most of our people are home still sleeping.
Yeah.
So what I see on the road... What do you mean by
stormers?
Stormers are non-masqueraders, people not wearing costumes.
Oh, so, you mean like me and Presto?
Well, this is it, right? So, like at 10 a.m. when the parade rolls out and your band is number 1 on the road, you're getting nothing but tourists, people who are respectful and pay their money and got their cameras, or, you know, TV. That's who's out there, and the road is clear in front. I enjoyed the reversal of the route this year. It gave us more time to jump up before being judged. So that part of it, because before it was the first thing you went through was judging, and then the jump up piece. So it gave us a chance to experience the lakeshore, the road, a little bit longer, and not be stormed by outsiders, by non-masqueraders, because
and Neddy and
the marshals and the security, you know, were making sure that the band was still intact before and up to when it got to the judging area. So that piece was great. And then the Revelers ended up in a parking lot behind Medieval Times, where we had a big like blocko. Our trucks were parked, and we were able to get food, and we were able to just have one big lime. Or you could leave and go back out on the road, or you could leave and go to a different part of the grounds where you could find the other bands having their blockos. So it was a very peaceful experience.
Yeah, we walked it. I think we walked the whole thing, right, Neddy?
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
I actually tagged along with him and Presto and
and Yoshi.
And Yoshi. And yeah, I did it, people, this year. Give me a round of applause. No, I'm kidding.
They're used to. Those guys are used to literally walking from one end of the lakeshore and backwards, usually pulling a cooler. A heavy cooler at that, right?
Right. We were talking about that too.
Some special punch in there.
Always punch in Neddy's cooler. So
gosh.
Heavy artillery down.
This year, I wasn't prepared, because I was like, I don't even know if anybody's going. And then KRC calls me, and she's like, you know, what are you doing? And I'm like, this was like around, I can't remember what time it was, maybe 12 o'clock or something. I'm like, are you going to parade? I'm like, what? You're actually going? So I said, okay, if that's the case, and Presto's bothering me to go, then I said, all right, I'll go.
Yeah. No, but it was nice. Like, I thought it was very pleasant. Like the walk, we did it all the way around basically, and where you were describing the stop where the trucks parked and you could do your thing. There were people who actually chose, like spectators that just opted to stay there. They were like, "Now this is the place," because it was like a little mini. Yeah, basically, people were just, this is where you could see and talk to people and everything like that. But it was nice to experience it. And then again, going back around on the lake shore and everything. And so it was a nice experience. Now, how were you? I noticed you had I don't know if we could get that personal with you, but since Neddy mentioned this whole cooler and everything like that, and I noticed you have a cup in your hand in the photo that we posted. So water, maybe?
Yes. Stay hydrated, on the
Stay
road.
hydrated.
There you go. Okay.
The band, and I can only speak for the revelers, is always making sure that their revelers are hydrated and fed. So from morning, right from the beginning, thank you to Jamal and the sponsors. So
Yes.
Tim Hortons for breakfast, and there was Popeyes and Pizza on the road with us, and then the Avenue at the end of the parade. So there's always a drinks truck following us that has water or Gatorade type of beverages,
I
juices,
think
and things like that.
Oh, nice. No, no,
I
no.
think KRC is asking more if there was like a special Kool-Aid in
I did not
your cup
ask all
there.
of that, Nettie. We got the right answer.
That's what you
You're
were
speaking
saying.
to a professional and a model here with a
Yeah.
reputation to keep. So listen, no. But you know what? I did want to touch on. No, I wanted to touch on that actually because I've heard people say that Jamal. I mean, they'll refer to Jamal and the Toronto Revelers. They take care of their masqueraders? Yes, and so to hear that, like I didn't even like. I mean, how you broke it down with the food and the truck and the water and the Gatorade, like that's. Yeah, so I could see, and does that now come as a part? I'm just asking for people like myself who are actually trying to build up the nerve to do this 1 year.
I think I might do it next year.
Oh Lord, does it come? I'll see if I'm ready.
Those are standard things for the revelers. There's no
Yes.
extra cost. I don't have to pay,
Wow.
for food when I get down there. Like drinks, and I'm pretty sure that that's probably standard with all the other bands. I believe it makes sense to keep your revelers hydrated and not dropping like flies. It would make sense,
Exactly.
to make sure that we're still able to walk the whole route. And if they also have they also have marshals, walking, dragging garbage bags filled of ice water or cold water, or even just bags of ice that they can give us. And I can take a handful of ice just to keep cool. This year, the temperature was actually perfect for me.
Yes.
We were at about 22, 23 degrees. It was perfect and a bit overcast until it rained a little. We got rained on at the beginning of the parade, but for the most part, the revelers make sure that we are very well hydrated and fed. Otherwise, it saddens or cheapens the experience when you're not having a good time because you're starving or because you're dying of thirst or have to jump out of the band to buy something when your band should be providing those kinds of things. But
No, makes sense. And so, but I'm sure there's some that do better than others.
I will shout out Venom Carnival. It was their Venom Mass. It was their first year on the road, and I do believe they had some sponsorship from Fiji Water, and that's shouts out to my girl Teal Flo. I definitely saw Fiji Water being pushed around through the Venom Mass while they were on the roads.
Okay.
If bands can go out and find a sponsorship like the Revelers do, like Venom took the time to do, then it's important because it's important to keep your masqueraders happy. That's what keeps us coming back.
I feel like there's all sorts of politics with like the different bands and all sorts of stuff. Who's going with this band? Who's going with that band and stuff like that. Is that how it is, really and truly, or?
I haven't really seen a lot of the politics. I do see over the years, 11 years, I have seen section leaders change. So people who have started with the Revelers are now with, Venom. They've left and gone to Tribal Carnival, or they've left and gone to Carnival Nations. They've gone to Saldina. They've moved around, and that just may be for their own, their own reasons. I truly don't experience any of that politics while going through the process of getting my costume from the band launch to hanging out at the mask camp and helping make masks to picking up my costume. The revelers make sure that we're not a part of any of that kind of back scene bacchanal. If there's any of it, we would never really know about it because they really truly try to make the experience about the road and about having it be an authentic musical experience. Any politics, we never really ever see it or ever need to get involved. It doesn't belong with me as I pay my money for costume. It's not my concern. They never made it forefront.
So, sorry, I don't know if you're. So, where does this year rank for you then? Or let me ask you, it was the 50th, and so did it feel like the 50th? Did it seem any different as far as your experience, the crowd, or anything?
It didn't seem any different to me, truth be told, for the 50th. I thought that it would be much more, there would be much more pomp and circumstance. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't see that. I mean, aside from seeing the mayor, shouts out to Mayor Tory,
Okay.
riding one of the revelers' trucks, which in the
Oh.
past I had never seen, whether it be him or any other mayor riding, not with the revelers anyway. I definitely saw him riding with the revelers, and so that I appreciated. I thought that I would have seen Prime Minister Trudeau, and I'm sad that I didn't see him.
Mhm.
Don't quote me on this. I don't know if he was there or not, but you know, if you're listening, Mr. Trudeau, you were at Pride, and I'm a little disappointed that you didn't come to the Toronto Caribbean Carnival.
Yeah, I
Mhm,
know
mhm.
Kathleen Wynne used to be at the carnival quite a few times.
And she was at Pride too, and then she kind of happened to skip over Toronto
Mhm.
Caribbean Carnival. I didn't see her for the 50th either. You know, she was there when they put the big duck in the lake. You know, for put rubber duck in the lake, but they didn't have time to come and put on two feathers and walk the road. Like,
Oh, Lord.
I feel a little, you know, I feel a little shame for them
Right?
on that one. Like, I feel
Yeah.
slighted by that, but the duck revelers, you know, but
Right. Oh my gosh. No, but honestly, considering how much what it does for the city, the province, and the country overall, I think, yeah, you have a right to say that. And it was the 50th. Like if it any year that they were gonna do, show up and
should
spend
have
some
been
time.
this year for sure.
Exactly.
For sure,
Exactly.
it should have been
And
because the
mm,
revenue. You're right. We talk about the revenue that it brings into the city, and it's important to show the people that you stand behind them. It's
mhm,
important to show the people that you care and that you know the business of this city means more to them than just the pocket, than just the pocket change coming in. You know what I mean?
ex-
It's good to show face. You can't
mhm,
not just say it from the news. You need to be out there.
exactly. So where does this rank now for you? That's what I was going to ask before, as far as your overall experience for the last 11 years as a masquerader. Where does this one rank?
I'd say this ranked in the top three for me out of my overall experiences.
Wow, that's pretty high.
Top three
Hmm.
is good. In years past, you know, whether it be weather changes or and the road route has changed a few times. Truth be told, you know, when I started, we were used to go all the way down the lakeshore. In the last 2 years, it changed to the sandy grounds, and now this year the route reversed around. I'd say this was in my top three in that it was peaceful. It was very well organized, and that has, I think, a lot to do with the new management that they were under, you know, courtesy of Jerry Weeks,
And
and we were
the
well
You're cutting
police,
out,
organized.
cutting out, cutting out. Oh
it's
The
God.
that it's
police, sorry,
those LG headphones again.
Hush,
the
Niddy.
police, you know, the police being there, the police presence being there, and I think a lot went into just the bands asking people to really respect the mass, and that's been something that may have been lacking in the previous years,
Mhm.
and it was a big sticking point this year that people really respect the mass and not storm the bands if you didn't pay for a costume because these costumes are quite pricey. So
Yeah.
for what people pay, we expect that we're going to get full use of it and it's not going to be destroyed 10 minutes into walking onto the lakeshore. So
Hmm.
this was definitely in my top three.
And most of us who are there, I mean, that's who I want to see. Like, I don't want to see people who are not dressed for who are just walking, who are not really doing anything. Like you're blocking. Like I actually like taking photos and catch a little video and you know what I mean? And it just looks
See the
pretty. Like when
colors,
yes.
the shapes, the sizes, the culture, the people who
Yes,
embrace it. It's not just Black people, it
Mm-mm.
is all
all different.
races, all creeds. You like every class of people comes to Caribana and plays from young to old. You know, this is for everybody. We include everyone, and
Mhm.
for people not to be able to showcase that is unfortunate. It's tragic. So
Mhm.
this year was a great way and a great display of all of what Toronto Caribbean Carnival has to offer by them changing the route and it being so much better patrol.
And I like jumping up with the masqueraders. So
Nettie's
I'm
one
one
of
of
these
those.
guys who feathers, yeah.
What do you call those people who come in later?
Stormers. Nettie,
Stormers. I'm gonna wear that
Nettie's a
on my
storm.
shirt next year.
Oh Lord,
I'm
Nettie,
going to
take
it.
No, Nettie, why don't you go bare and write it on your chest then if you're so proud? If you're so proud.
We'll wear a costume. My thing is, I would say probably 90% of stormers are males, which is funny because the
Mm,
much cheaper are 1/3 the cost of a female costume. So all of these men who storm the bands, if they would just get together with their friends and spend, $190 on a costume, then
Hey,
they can actually get the real feel of it. They
bad
spend
man,
more than Jordans.
bad
there
man
you
don't
go.
put on no costume. See?
Watch now. Watch now, Nick. Watch now.
I'm joking. I'm joking. You know what? I wanna experience my first time going one of these carnivals, but I think if I do it, I want to do what do you call the big one? Is it the king or the queen or something like that?
You want to pull one of those big costumes?
I want to pull one of those big ones with the
Oh,
wheels and stuff like
Lord.
that, and you're like going around. It's like
Sure,
extravagant.
sure. And I mean, you could totally pull that off, Nettie, but not for your first time.
No.
You got to start.
And I think you got to work your way up to that too. I think it's a status thing.
Can't go
It's a
from 0 to 1. Yeah, no,
it's a
No.
status thing.
I think
it
so. I
is.
think people build up to that and they actually perform at the King and Queen like yeah. So
Yeah, if that's what it is. I want to go all out. Just go straight into the king,
Right,
and
right. 110-pound costume around. Yeah,
listen. I'm in the gym now. I'm working it out.
excellent, excellent, Nettie,
Trying to
excellent.
get rid of
oh.
the fluffy belly so I can get into a costume.
You got to do it. And listen, there's lots of guys out there who have a little extra, and us gals love to hold on to the extra and whine on them on the. Don't have a six-pack to be out there playing mass either. And that's for the guys too who are not comfortable or not sure that they can do it. There are lots of options for men out there too. Lots of coverage. There are not a lot of feathers, so you're not going to be extra girly and no one's going to be judging you. Girls love guys who play mass.
I
There you
saw
go.
some guys with some black horns like devil ears and stuff like that. I was like, okay, that looks like a something I
Very
can rock.
yes, manly costume that you could pull off for sure.
Yeah,
Devil. Yeah.
yeah.
Fitting, quite fitting.
Isn't it, Kerosene? Oh boy.
Oh Lord. But and then okay, I just want to know, so for anybody who's still on the fence or um haven't really built up the courage, the nerve to participate, like what's some advice that you would give to women? And I mean, like you said, the number one um thing that holds us back, me included, is the thought of putting my body on display. And honestly, I'm not even, and it's not even that. That's one part of it for me. That's a big part. But the other part is I'm not the biggest dancer. And I'm always like, oh Lord, people are going to be like, okay, what's she doing here? Like, move. You just want to see the people who are like really exciting and look like this is their life. You know what I mean? But, I mean, when I look, I'm like, okay, not everybody's like that. I think I could do this. Like, but I'm still on the fence. So, what would be your advice to someone like myself?
My advice to anybody, whether it's man or woman, whether it is old or young, whether it is slim or thick, is to do your research before you decide. So you see it from years before, you see it on social media. Um, Search around in terms of going to the different bands' websites, going to their social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, things like that, and see what they offer in years past and find a band that is size inclusive. If you're not 100% sure, like if you wouldn't wear a two-piece to the beach on vacation or around your friends, then wearing one on Lakeshore where CP24 might catch you may not be for you either. So it's best to find a band that offers options so that you can then weigh all of your options and purchase what you are going to be comfortable in, and to be very transparent with band and with the section that you're choosing, and letting them know. A lot of section leaders are very, very understanding when you say to them, I need a little bit more coverage. I'm not comfortable in this. In years past, where I've helped with mass costumes, we have girls who bring a piece, let's say from their home, whether it be a full coverage bra or a full on bustier, and have that decorated with the band's, gems and colors of that section so that they feel comfortable. And that's what most important thing is, that before you do it, you need to make sure that you're going to feel comfortable, and do it with some friends, right? With some friends that are not going to judge you, friends that you know are going to ride for you and let you have a good time.
Yeah.
And for the guys out there, just go with the bands with the most girls in it.
Well, this is right. I mean, Betty's kind of got it right. Every band has a ton of women, right? You really want to, like, some people say, well, they're going to play with this section because, this person is going to be on the road, and then they're disappointed. Oh, girl's going to be on the trucks. I'm going to just go play with that band. And then they're disappointed in their costume, and they're disappointed in the service they received.
What's that?
In terms of my costume fitting, or in terms of it being delivered in a timely manner on time. So I did my research before I started playing, and the Revelers were the only band who offered those options at that time. They offer a ton more of those options now. That, for me, I mean, I would recommend any band, first and foremost, to go with the band that I have grown to love and chosen. Check out the Toronto Revelers every year. Next year, the theme will be out probably in January 2018.
Sorry, say it again, because you're cutting out. So you said the themes are announced in January?
The themes are announced around January.
Okay.
For the coming year, and then the band launches start around April. Shortly after Trinidad, everybody gets back from Trinidad, and then the band launches start. So that would be my advice to people as well, is to go to the band launches, spend $20 or $25 and go check out the band launches and see the costumes up close. Go check out the atmosphere with your friends, and you can even get to see the costumes and talk to the section leaders. A lot of the bands have the option to register that night, so it's a good idea then to go and talk to the section leaders and say, hey, what are you offering? Because generally they'll put, I mean, I've been with the Revelers and modeled for the Revelers, and they usually put a few options on display. So they'll put a plus size option, they'll put a full coverage option, they put a regular two-piece option out, from the most feathers to the least amount of feathers. So everybody has a choice.
Okay. No, and what's nice, actually, a girlfriend of mine did it for the first year this year, and she loved it. She loved the experience. She was concerned because by the time she went to get her costume or order it, there were only two-piece options left, right? So, but she said, okay, I'm going to do it, and she built up the courage. She did, and then last minute, actually, someone had to back out. Someone did back out for whatever reason, and that person had a full, like a one piece, so she was able to switch. Yeah, so sometimes it works out like that. But like you were saying at the top of the show, there are so many ways, and that's what she was doing. She was actually preparing to things that she could add to, or things that she could use to cover, you know what I mean? So I guess, yeah.
You know what, for me also, and I would recommend this for girls, tights, mass tights are also a very good option.
Yes.
This year and the last couple of years, I discovered mass tights, and so I wear a brand called Mickles, which comes straight from Trinidad. I'm going to large up my tights lady. Her name is the Tights Lady, Sasha. Thank you, Sasha, for always having sizes from small right up to 5XL for all women's, all shades, all sizes. She carries regular tights and glitter fishnets. So, you know what, girls? I wore two pairs. I will tell people I wore a regular pair, and then I wore the fishnets on top, and it kept everything tight.
Oh, nice.
And shiny and controlled on the road. And, gives you a little bit of suction where we need it. Everyone's got a little area that they don't love. It kept my tummy in for me, and it kept my butt from hanging out in the panty sometimes, which can sometimes go a little north when you're whining. It kept the panty in a southern position for the
yeah.
So tights are a good option. Boots, there's lots of ways to show a minimal amount of skin. I had like one little slice of skin out because I had a high waist panty on and a full bra and a backpack. Right? Feathers are always a good way to kind of take people's eye away from what you don't like. So.
No, and listen, Beyonce and all those, a lot of those entertainers wear their tights on stage, right?
If you look close, Beyonce's always got her fishnets on.
Yep.
Because when that panty rides up when she's twerking, she got to keep it secret.
So true, so true. So yeah, there's no shame. And it actually, I think it looks neat. I like the look of it because, and I'm not judging because people are out there and they're comfortable in their own skin. But when you were talking about, yeah, the malfunction and the things kind of hitch up and ending up in different places, it actually, yeah, it takes away from like the nice finish of your costume. So,
and it pulls
yeah.
everything together.
Yes.
Pulls everything together. If you have a time, then I would suggest that girls really, research options for shoes, and you can make things match, or spray painting an old pair of shoes, just so that you're 100% comfortable. And when you get out there and the music hits, and everyone's walking, and you see 200 other girls in all different shapes and races and sizes wearing the same thing, you're gonna feel like magic. It's magical when you cross that stage and display. It is like something you have never experienced before. The adrenaline rush is like no other.
Yeah, one of my girlfriends who did it years ago, I don't think she's done it since, but she did say it's one experience every woman should have. And so if you...
And man too.
Well, yeah, but she said we were talking women. But men too. But no, I will say with Denise, I did notice that in your photo, like from head to toe, like you even had your headband, your jewelry. You just look so neat. I'm like, okay, this must have been before everything.
Denise is always decked out.
But no, she's always, yeah, I've seen you out and always a nice finish.
It makes me feel comfortable, and I really want
to your shoes. Yes, and down to your shoes, pretty with the floral match it. I was like, perfect.
For the whole band and the whole section, and it just makes me feel like my best. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I might have had one shot of strong rum before I hit the
road. See?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. No.
A little liquid courage always helps.
Right? Oh my gosh. So before you go, how was your whole, like, what else did you get into for the weekend?
The rest of the weekend, I got into topless. Thank you. Shouts out to Jermaine King.
Oh, yes.
Entertainment for Kings. Topless on Thursday up at Dream Bristol Lounge was fantastic. That place is amazing. Free parking. Patio was rammed out. The music. Shouts out to the Bandits, Max the Boss, Mr. Presto, starting from scratch. That was an amazing party. So I would recommend, please, Jermaine, if you're listening, have that party again next year. Do not miss that again. But there's lots to do. Shouts out to Dr. Jane Silver Prince. Sober or Die is always off the hook. That was great. And then Sunday, I was at the Revelers, Jamal McGrath Toronto Revelers all-inclusive quench in support of the Jamal McGrath Foundation. I would highly, highly recommend anybody who's looking for something to do a day party. CARIBANA Sunday. The Revelers always have. Sorry, Nettie. The Revelers always have that event, and that is in support of an amazing foundation that Jamal has started. It's to support the kids, and everyone knows everyone loves the kids. So please come out and support the Jamal McGrath Foundation. That's an amazing event. Monday, I went to 2 parties actually. Shouts out to Ian Andre Espinay for his annual Friends Boat Ride that I've been going to for about 10 years now. And then I finished off my night at Carnival Rehab. Hey, sounds like KINETIC joined us.
Yes, finally. Hey.
And so Carnival Rehab, which was my first time over at Cabana, large up demanded for that, and so many others, Kid Cut, DJ Shy, Four Corners. That was the weather turned out Monday. It started out a little rainy, and it cleared up beautifully. So there's so much to do. That too, I think, as people do research, don't just go to every party because you'll burn out and you really can't go to everything. So choose wisely. Choose things that you're going to enjoy, where your friends are going to be, where you're the kind of crowd that you want to hang out with. You can choose events that have free parking, that may be downtown if you like downtown, but go where the vibe is, go where you're going to have a good time.
Or just go wherever Denise is going.
Well, I mean, if you want to follow me on social media, by all means, at Mrs. Azeez on Instagram, at Miss_Azeez on Twitter. My pages are open. You're free to follow me around if you want to come shout out Revolution at any time. I am out. I'm also open to letting if anybody needs help choosing a costume or talking further about their carnival experience, to please reach out to me, because I guarantee you'll have a good time if you do it the right way.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. I mean, you were cutting out, so I just want to let people make sure people do know how to follow you or connect if they want to. So it's at Miss_Azeez. That's Miss MISS_AZEEZ. That's how I say it, right? So
yeah, and I think my Instagram is at. Let me just double check, because sometimes
that's
when you
the
have
one.
too many.
That's the one I'm on it. Miss_Azeez. Yeah.
Is that my Instagram? Oh, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
You don't even know?
I forget. There's so many. I forget because of the underscore. It's Miss_Azeez. You're right, on Instagram, and it's at Miss Azeez, all one word, on Twitter. So people are free to come and hit me up if they'd like to hit me up to know more about the. I got a lot of questions about my tights this year, and direct a lot of girls where to find tights, or even where to go to boot camp to kind of tone up your body before boot camp, before Caribana. So hit me up, man. I got you. I'm open to new friends.
Representing the plus size girls out there.
All women.
For all the girls, any girl who wants to have a good carnival experience is free to hit me how to get it, for sure.
Nice. Well, thank you, and thank you so much for joining us. I would ask you to stick around, but you keep cutting out your mic, so and I know you had a limit for us. We don't have our all night people, but again, thank you so much for making the time tonight, and I think you're going to make a lot of people more comfortable, or even more excited about doing it next year. So yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, have a great evening.
You too. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
KINETIC?
Oh, she had so much great feedback and advice and everything like that. So hopefully people could hear it and make it out. For the most part, her mic was strong and good and everything like that. But and like I said, I always remind everybody that this show is available as a podcast in the morning, and so check your favorite podcast players if you missed anything. And follow Miss Azeez. So it's again, we'll wrap it up at the end of the show. But also on my Cake with Kiersey, I do have her posted in, or tagged in the post that I've put with her image and everything. So you can find her that way as well. And yeah, she's one of the women in the know in the city. So yeah, welcome, KINETIC. Is he there? Hello?
KINETIC is there.
I know he's there, but is he really there?
KINETIC.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
So you made it. Last week talking like possibly. Yeah, that's probably why he just showed up.
Really?
Just rolled out of bed.
You just rolling up out of bed?
Yeah, I wish that was the case.
So how was your Caribana weekend? We didn't hear about you, Nettie. You guys can both talk about it, because all I did, people, was the parade for what, 3 hours I was down there? Nettie, about that?
Until your feet started hurting?
It wasn't until my feet started hurting. My feet had been.
Hold on, we were uncomfortable. Exactly. We were gonna do another round, because I was like, "Yo, let's go back."
We were doing no other round at 7 o'clock or.
I said because
quarter to 6, quarter to 7.
We followed the one band, basically the whole thing, right? Because we were just walking up.
It was the end. What are you talking about? Everybody was looking to leave. The bands were coming out and leaving. What are you talking about?
There was another band that was behind us.
Listen, Nettie, let me tell you something. I'm very sensitive right now.
Okay?
I'm in a very sensitive state in my life right now.
You're at a very sensitive stage of your life.
So do not try to Nothing on me as far as I killed the rest of your day. People were leaving. Everybody was leaving when we left. We stood up.
Okay. So as Denise said, they were at the.
That was already the second round, Nettie. These people started at 10 o'clock in the morning or earlier. So
listen,
when we got there and we started at 4 o'clock, you were in the second round already. The second.
I know, but we weren't in the last band. That's what I'm saying. That band that was in, even though it was the second time around, it wasn't the last band.
No, remember, it wasn't the last band. But
some people stayed there till like 9, 10 o'clock at night.
No, it wasn't. No, they weren't running until 9, 10 o'clock. Nettie, please stop. We were there. No, so what I'm trying to say.
Well, how were you guys?
No, all I'm trying to say is I did not hear one little bit of discussion about doing something, and I was like, "Oh, my feet hurt." No, don't try to pin that on me. There was nothing like that.
If it was the case, it's understandable.
We were concerned for you.
No, none of that. Listen, I did not ask for no pity. I was good. Okay.
We were concerned because
I wasn't.
Now another phone cutting out.
You're breaking up, huh?
You're breaking up, Clay.
How come I wasn't invited to the party? You know the.
Kinetic, you too busy. You were. I don't know where you were at that point.
It was kind of like a last minute thing for me. And
I'm just messing.
No, I know you are.
Yeah, because I wasn't even like 100% sure if I was gonna go down to the parade, and I saw the rain earlier.
Until we dragged him out, we begged him to come. Oh Lord, hear this story. Whatever. Anyway, so.
KRC was like, "Yeah, let's go," and I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I've been seeing KRC for a while. All right, my brethren were already like, bothering me to go too, so I just said, okay, let's go down." And it was like, I think we got there at like 2 o'clock.
We did not get there until we left here at like 2:30. Like, you're delusional.
What time did we get there?
By the time we got there, and you drove around like a maniac looking for parking where there was going to be no damn parking.
Wow.
Until we got to.
No, thank you, Nettie, for taking me to the parade safely and taking me back home. Not even that.
You're wrong.
No thanks. Hey, Kinetic, you see where the gratitude comes in
here? No, you hear what Nettie wants public. Thank you. How many texts did I send you after the fact, after I came home? Hello?
You sent me a text?
I don't. What? Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to find it, and I'm going to. I can't believe you. I'm about to post it on Instagram. I hope my phone number doesn't show. That's all I hope doesn't show. I don't care. Oh, yours is going to show because yours is going to show.
You can show mine. I don't care.
All right. Yeah, you got a public number. I'm putting it out there, and I have proof. I can't believe you. Oh my gosh, Nettie.
I'm so emotional today. What's going on?
I don't like liars. You're lying on me. You're making me sound like I was like a little killjoy at the parade, like talking about whining about my feet. I was good to go. Yo, I was a soldier that day. Hello.
Thank you.
So I don't know what. Don't you dare try to put anything on me. That's number one. Number two.
We had to surround you like we're protecting the queen, like.
You were off there trying to wind up on people, and I was like, "Go do your thing, fellas. Like, as long as you hold your flags up, where you guys are, I'm good. And I kept up. Because unlike you guys, I respect the masqueraders. I'm not storming nobody's section.
Oh, he was a stormer?
Yeah, they're all in the mix, in people's mix, and gone behind people, and I don't know.
I'm so disappointed.
Right? And I kept to the side, and I watched. Like, I was very respectful. Plus, I had to, I'm taking care of me and mine. So, but for the most part, it was, I don't even know what I was trying to say something nice before Nettie came in and said, so I said, we were down there, we had a nice, and that was my experience, period. So that's boring. So now you guys had a little more excitement, like the nighttime excitement and stuff. So what did you guys get into?
What, Saturday night?
All nights, what that you'd like to share. Were you at Topless?
I was at Topless. That was Thursday. That was a very nice event. Patio party and stuff like that up in the Vaughan area. Stream Lounge.
Was that where it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that was
I
nice.
could have passed through.
Yeah, of course, exactly. Pass through.
Oh gosh.
And then I did the Friends boat cruise on the Monday yesterday. So it was a nice time as well. And after that, I passed by. My friend was performing at Melville Bay. She was at Ontario Place, and I totally forgot that OVO was right beside us. So it was kind of hectic to park and then walk across to Ontario Place because I had to cross the amphitheater, the Budweiser amphitheater. And then like all these little kids running in there and stuff like that with all their OVO shirts and whatnot, and go straight to the Ontario Place sign, which was Island Club. Yeah, so that was an experience. That by itself, just in the parking lot at the OVO thing, was an experience by itself. So yeah, so that was my weekend pretty much.
And KINETIC?
You know what? Actually, my weekend was really scaled down this weekend. I went to Wednesday on the Roof. Just Blaze put on an amazing event. I really like that party. Fully endorsed. Anybody that's following me knows that I'm promoting it. Out of respect for him. Not officially involved, but part of the team kind of thing. So I went to Wednesday on the Roof, and before that, I went to check my man Aristotle down at Anco, which was crazy, the Latin Wednesdays kind of thing. So I did those two events tonight. Thursday, I was actually supposed to end up at Topless, but actually we're helping build my boy's deck. So we ended up doing a backyard lime. Like by the time we were drinking all day, so we were building. By the time I didn't get to go on another cruise I was supposed to go on. But by the time we finished, we were drinking all day. We were high as hell basically off alcohol. So we just kind of backyard lime barbecued, 3/4 deck built. We just had to do the railings kind of thing. Then Friday was more of continuation on that. I missed Red Ride. And then I ended up at my boy's partner's wife's 30th birthday party on the Friday. So between the barbecue that we had on the Friday night, again, the barbecue lime, and then I went there to the thing, that I just came home. Saturday, went down to parade, hooked up with some peeps, went down to parade, did that. It was cool.
When were you there? Go ahead.
Yeah,
to me, it was cool. It seemed, I don't know if it was you guys or Beam. It just seemed like it wasn't as rammed as it usually is.
What, the parade?
Yeah, the parade just seemed, I don't know, man. It just this Caribana for me just didn't seem like it was up. Well, I guess, I don't know if it's because I wasn't playing, but it just didn't seem like, and like, it wasn't like the rush that I usually get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't really know because I don't go that often, but I feel like it was more spaced out. Like people there was more areas you could be in. And remember when Denise was talking about behind medieval times where the trucks were parked? I don't know if you walked around there, KINETIC, and people.
No, actually, I respected.
By music. No, but
I didn't do that. Yeah, I didn't go back there at all.
See, we ended up kind of, because I was with people who are unruly and have no respect for anybody. So I followed them.
Now I know who not to carry next year.
But I was on the road on Lakeshore when it was just towards the end. It was just like madness and everybody is bum rushed. I was like, we followed the band, but it was like they separated everybody and it was cool. And then that's where I saw the wig. That was like,
oh gosh, we passed it. Oh my gosh, when we passed the wig, there was a guy that came back and he poured out a little liquor on the wig. I was like, and everybody's standing around taking pictures and videos of the wig.
Man, I couldn't believe.
I wanted to know was what did the poor girl do, like without the wig? How did she lose it? And then why did she leave it? And then what was her head looking like?
I'm assuming. Yeah, what I heard was that she dissed a stormer. And the guy pulled off her wig.
Oh, Lord. See, that's so wrong. I mean,
Why I
it's
said,
funny, but it's
if you notice
wrong.
what I said, if you notice what I said
No, I
on
know.
Instagram when I posted, I go, I still don't care. It was fun. It was a fun thing. I was like, that poor girl. But at the same time, how you gonna use the wig, man? Like,
That's
really?
what I'm saying.
Like, yo,
And it was a
like,
complete wig. Like
yeah.
first approaching, I thought it was like hair. You know, sometimes hair comes out like some braids or packs, like clumps of hair or something.
Yeah.
But then as getting close, I was like, no, this is a full-on wig. Like I see the top, like I see the scalp. I was like, this cost this girl some money. And all I'm
Money, I
wondering is like
know.
what her head looked like after. But maybe she had hair, maybe it was in a ponytail, and she was like, whatever, forget the wig, it's nasty. I'm not picking it up because
Right, exactly. Well, come on, you could have washed his hair like shit. I mean,
or maybe
like,
she
at
just
the end of the
ran.
day-
I don't know, but
at the end of the day,
there was nowhere to
I
run
was
though,
like,
unless
when
she
I
was just
saw
so
that was
embarrassed.
yeah, that's what I say. She probably ran off. That's what I said. That poor girl, whoever it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody must have that on
man.
social media though. Someone
Social
must
media,
have.
Yeah.
But if you had,
the word was that the word is that she dissed a stormer and or somebody tried to dance on her and the guy just took exception and yanked off her wig.
yeah. You know that a lot of women would fall what's
Victim.
the word? Victim to that.
Yeah.
You know. So
no, that's brazen though. Come on, man. That is brazen.
I know.
That is brazen.
It's uncalled for.
That was a highlight Caribana for me. I had to take a picture. I didn't care the cadness out of it. I had to take a picture.
Yeah.
I was.
And the thing is, if I was a woman wearing a wig and it fell on the floor too, I don't think I would pick it up and put it back on. Come on.
Of course not.
A wig that's like close to your head like that?
No, but no one said she had to put it right back. He's saying she could have took it home and washed it.
Took it home and washed it.
Soak it a little, put a little bleach. I don't know, but poor thing. And that is just so you're so boiling. That's just so wrong. But you got to be extra nice. You got to be like a very sweet person when you're wearing a wig that can just pop off like that. Like,
be a sweet person.
No, that's not. You're not ready for the battle unless you're ready to take it off. And you know what? Before someone yanks it, I'm going to take it off and say, okay, I'm ready now. Like, take the earrings off and the wig. So, but he had no right. That person had no right. So, girl, I'm not. Hear that. I'm not laughing, girl. So,
You're supporting all the women out there.
All the wig wearers. They're not just women. Oh, Lord. But yeah, and so that kind of wrapped your weekend? KINETIC, did you do, I know this is like Jambana or anything like that? Anything else?
Well, P-Rock and CL Smooth was here. My friend Angela went to that, but I didn't even have a chance because I was at Ontario Place.
Right.
Yeah, so I missed
out.
So
speaking, and you mentioned OVO, we'll just put it in real quick. I guess none of you guys went, never, and participated, whatever. But apparently, it was people had a great time. There was a good turnout. I posted a picture where Drake actually brought a replica of the CN Tower, the top of the tower. So he had that there. So which I like. I like that he puts. Tickets cost enough, right? They make enough money off of it to do little things like that. But they could just have put a stage up and just ran back and forth. But at least there was like a little effort. Yeah, a little something put into it and represent the city. And the other thing that Drake did this weekend was open the OVO store in Yorkdale Mall.
And hold on, let me tell you something. I was talking to somebody, and people have been lining up for I think 3 days or something like that.
That's just crazy. I don't even know where Yorkdale let them line up because they must have been outside because that's and that's just some foolishness.
Yeah, they usually do lineups outside, and then afterwards, when the store opens, or they give numbers, like they give tickets and stuff like that. So when you have your ticket, you hold your spot in the line. So
I think that's what happened because I saw a guy on the news actually explaining that he bought a ticket for his spot. And I was like, what do you mean bought a ticket?
So let me tell you, there was a guy I spoke to who bought a ticket for $80 for a spot to get in the store. So you're spending $80 to go into what? Come on, this is ridiculous. How is this even like normal?
Go ahead, Nettie, the cult.
It's a cult. This is not normal behavior. You have kids, 12 and 13 years old or whatever, They don't even have enough money to do whatever, like pay for school or whatever. But they're going in and buying OVO gear and whatever, spending 3 days and line up for this store. Come on, this is not even about the Drake and his music anymore. It's just a cult. I'm saying it's a cult because I think that people are just gravitating towards this and just like OVO, that's the in thing. We gotta have a shirt that says OVO on it. You gotta wear something that says Drake. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's a cult now. Just like how you said, I think it was you who said, Kersey, you went to Jay-Z concert and Jay-Z was saying "Hope" and everybody's putting up the whole symbol in the air. It's a cult. They're all doing the same thing. If you do that at any organized religion, they'll call it a cult. But why is it okay for hip hop?
Because they don't really lead you and tell you must do this and you must
they don't lead you there. They open up big stores inside Yorkdale and people are lining up for 3 days. 3 days to line up to get into a store.
And people do that for other. No, it's not like, I mean, it's cult-like, if you want to say that. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not a cult, because I mean there's certain other things that, no, I know what you mean. It's like it's cult-like. Like, it's like I said, I was at that concert and I'm looking at it, I'm interested because I'm looking at it from like the point of view of like the impact and the effect that these artists and their brands have on people. And when I look around and I see a whole like arena crowd doing the same thing, it's like, oh my good, it strikes you as that, but then you got to pull back and just say, like, it's just the effect that they have, you know what I mean? And you can look at it either way and say, like, this is crazy that you got like thousands of people doing the same thing, or you have hundreds or thousands of people lining up to spend money just to buy something that has an OVO and I forget, what is this? Is this a owl or something on it? I don't know. Yeah,
it's owl. But it's October's very own or whatever, the owl, right?
But then you look and you say, well, it's happened with other groups. It's not just hip hop. It's happened with, there's been this phenomenon, like, when with the Beatles and with Elvis Presley and, but it's just, it's different. It's different how, but you and Michael Jackson, I mean, nobody had a bigger effect on people than Michael Jackson. When you look at people fainting at the sight of this man, you know what I mean? You look at Bob Marley, I mean, that name, that's a brand. This man has passed on, and his name still means something to people and will convert people, and people will grow their hair and lock their hair. And
but if there was a Bob Marley store in Yorkdale, you think that it would have people lining up for 3 days? No.
Possibly, but you know what I think? What I think happened with this, why people, I mean, we live in a world now and the society now, especially with the younger people, that being first to have something and first to see something and first to do something and being first to post something on Instagram. Like, even if you notice, people will, like, if a post is done, they want to be the first to comment, and that's the only word they put is first, like, kind of thing. And it's like, what is, and we don't get it, I don't get it, but they get this. And then this whole idea of believers and the beehive and like, I mean, it's about being a part of something, and so it goes a lot deeper than, oh, I like Drake, you know what I mean? It's just being a part of something, and that's some psychological stuff that we can't get into. But
it's almost like some of these kids, like these youth or whatever, they're lining up for 3 days to go inside this OVO store, but you can't get them up in the morning to go to school. You get what I mean? Like, there's something wrong there. They're gonna line up at the Nike store to get Jordans and stuff like that and spend money, but then they don't have lunch money at school, like when they're going out and stuff like that. It doesn't seem right. Like, are these kids gonna grow up later on and then have property, or are they just gonna be stuck in this whole thing of buying OBO, going here, getting these nice cars and whatever else, and then never owning property in their life, never amounting to anything. Like it doesn't.
Possibly, I'm sure there's going to be a large number of them doing that, but I'm sure there are going to be a large number of them that don't, because the same people who are in their 30s and 40s and 50s who are judging them, we could look at them and say, okay, what have you accomplished? And when you were in your teens and 20s, you were all caught up and you were not focused, and they didn't do the right thing either. So like, we tend to do this. I mean, people do it as this, you know, generation after generation. We look at the ones coming up and kind of judge, but the same could be said for a lot of people judging, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At some point they get their acts together. But I think a big part of it too, I was going to mention, is I think, which and I'm pretty sure I did not see that he appeared. And I think some people actually were hoping that he would appear there. And I think that's why some people were willing to line up thinking, okay, right, Drake is in town.
Yes.
He's opening his store.
Which
he has to be here.
He should have.
I agree. I think so. I think he could have spared one of the guys. When they asked him that, they were like, oh no, I'm sure he's a busy man. I'm like, busy doing what? It's Caribana weekend. He's chilling, whatever. I know he has stuff to do, but
busy to pass by his own store
for 2 hours. Exactly.
Pass by, sign some shirts or whatever. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. He has this thing. He has everybody like fooled. Like he has just people, you know, just running over to follow him and stuff.
They're
like
inspired, Nettie.
They're inspired, but then still fine. Get back. Go buy some of the local schools. Go buy some of the local shops in the areas and stuff like that, and go sign some autographs. Go pass by different neighborhoods and say, yo, you know, it's Drake, I'm in town and stuff like that. Don't just put on this big show and then go open up a store and have people that's spending money and stuff like that, and then you're not even showing up at the store. You're just having people there shopping. Who knows if it's even Drake running it?
You sound like a hater, Nettie, right now.
I am a hater. I'm not even gonna hide that. I am a hater.
And I said, hate him, like him or not, you got to give him his props, though, because think about it. Yorkdale, especially right now, people like Yorkdale, anybody listening who is not familiar with Yorkdale Mall, it is, I think it's the #1 mall in the city. Like it's as far as the size, the stores, the number of stores, the quality of stores.
It's very high end right now. I can't shop at Yorkdale anymore.
Stop it, Nettie. It's a mixture. You could, Lord, don't make it look so bad. Like you can, there's a mixture. I mean, there's, I think there's still a what do you call that store? Old Navy. I think there's still an Old Navy and a Forever 21 in Yorkdale.
Yeah, Old Navy's gonna be gone soon.
No, they make money. There's enough people there, and then you got like the other. Well, I'm not going to start promoting everything like that, but it's always been a mixture, but it has built. I mean, that was my mall. That was my little go-to mall. I mean, I've been going to Yorkdale since there was a Dominion before it even turned to Metro, running to grab groceries at Yorkdale. You know what I mean? That's where we went after school and stuff.
One lane up and one lane down. That Yorkdale you're talking.
Yeah, pretty much, but it was still dope. Like it was still, but at that time, I mean, Eaton Center was the ish, you know what I mean? But no, but Yorkdale has built. I think they've. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Now it's like how we used to be able to run to Yorkdale. Like I don't think I ever ran with a tie it on my head, but you could have. Now, no. But the point I'm trying to make is for him to be doing that, especially now on the level that Yorkdale is on, and for a young man that grew up probably going to Yorkdale as a kid or a young person, and to be able then to open your store in this mall, I think that's got to be an amazing feeling. I mean, that's if he still gets a buzz off things like that. But I have to look and give him his props for that too. So, but anyway, so any listener, I'm about to post the link actually on vexradio.com. So when you go there and you see the link, you can click if you have Google Hangouts and join the conversation. So if anybody who wants to call in, your camera's on, by the way. I'm seeing you. Are you naked?
My camera's on?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Well, I'm seeing the ceiling now. Okay, there you go. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying something before you flashed us. Oh, I'm about to post the link. So if anybody has a Caribana story or anything to share, or if you went to the OVO store or OVO concert, call in and share with us. I don't know what happened to KINETIC. So,
KINETIC is forever having problems with his phone.
but we don't lose him like this. So I'm trying to get him back. So if I'm
not good enough, I guess.
No, stop it. I'm just saying there might be people whatever, wondering. So yeah, anyway. So moving right along, getting into
the hot topic of the night.
Well, I wanted to touch on something else, but I wanted KINETIC to be on for the USAIN BOLT. Like I just wanted to, you know, kind of go over that a little bit. So we'll get into that to kind of end the show. But for yeah, the the crazy topic, Usher Raymond, which I know a lot of people have heard about.
Right.
It's been posted, and I think TMZ was one of the first to break the story, and then a lot of blogs and Instagram. I don't know what you call these. Well, they're sites with Instagram pages that people tend to follow. So it's been, my point is posted everywhere. This, I think her name is Quantisha.
Quantisha, yeah.
Quantisha, this is not her real name, but Sharpton is the last name. This is what, apparently that's not her real last name, so I don't know how her lawyer missed that. So she's out doing press conferences with her lawyer, using this name, accusing Usher of having sexual contact, is the phrase she used. Sexual contact with her a year. No, but not disclosing, not telling her that he has herpes. Now, she's not suing him because she got herpes, because she actually didn't get herpes, because last year, sorry, so what happened was,
tell the story.
Quantisha went to an Usher show on her birthday, or around her birthday, and she was wearing a birthday crown or tiara or whatever.
Allegedly.
Okay, yeah. Allegedly. Yeah, this is all allegedly. I ain't gonna be saying that word every minute because I'm not big news people, so no one's gonna come sue me. So, but this is all, yeah, according to, but no, this came out of her mouth actually. I mean, I'm not quoting her word for word, but you know, something like this. So she goes to the concert, she gets spotted, and she gets invited backstage, and a security guard then picks her out and says, Usher wants your number, that type of thing, or wants to link with you. So she gives her phone number. She receives a call from Usher, from an unknown number, and he is basically asking where she's at, and says, okay, I want to hook up with you, and invites her over. She goes to his hotel room, and this is where they engage in the sexual contact. And she just turned 19, she said, and now she's 21. So this happened 2 years ago.
And why is she only talking about it now?
Well, now she's seen because she is one of I'm hearing three people that are currently suing Usher for the same thing. And I think the others, the details haven't come out because they're keeping it kind of quiet.
Yes, the other two people have decided to remain nameless.
Yes,
because they're not into it for the fame. They're actually doing it for what they're doing it for. Now she, on the other hand,
we don't know that either. I mean, we don't know that either.
You have her posts are right there. I have them.
No, I'm not disputing. No, I'm not disputing. Oh, so you could tell people if you want to check out Neddy's what is
Instagram.
it? NEDDY NYCE _
Gym Life. That's my
Gym Life.
My fun page. It's not my professional
page. It's mix-up page. So, so yeah. So I'm so not believing this girl's story. But what I'm saying is the others, I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm not going to defend them and say, okay, they're proper, because what came out as soon as I heard her say, well, she didn't get herpes and she knows she doesn't have herpes because she had a child last year.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, so why are you putting yourself out there like this if
Why are
you
you
didn't
putting yourself out there?
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you didn't
And
get herpes from USHER. But what she called a lawyer. So I don't know if the lawyer had put a word out saying anybody who messed with USHER, you get in contact with me, whatever. But so she called this lawyer, is it Lisa Bloom or whatever? She's
yeah.
okay, anyway, so she's handling the cases for a few of these victims, quote unquote. So she so she called her and to find out what her position was, basically like, can I make some money off this? I'm sure that was what the main question was. And so she was told, yes, you have a case because the emotional distress, basically. Like, so once she heard that USHER, this whole USHER herpes mess, which has been circulating on the internet for the last little while. So once she heard this, I guess I don't know what emotional distress, like, I mean, I would be like, whew, like wiping my forehead saying, okay, I made it clear. I made it out. Like, yeah, we did some stuff, but like, I know I don't have it, so I'm good, but I don't know what could have happened to her the moment she heard that he has herpes. Like, I like, I don't
Right.
know. So,
So
but apparently that's what she's suing him for, is the emotional, the distress and that she felt once learning that he had it and he wasn't honest with her and disclosed this before, although it hasn't changed your life in any way. The next thing was and she made it clear that after that one encounter, he didn't call her back. So there was no follow-up. It wasn't like so I don't know. But
so if you're sleeping with somebody you don't know, unprotected, right?
mhm.
And then you have the audacity to go publicly to say, oh, on your social media, I need money. And then the next part is, this is my last few hours as a regular person,
Mhm.
right? You're bound to have people like attack you. Like you're doing this more publicly, and especially at the fact that the other two people have decided to remain nameless to keep themselves away from um, the whole limelight, like the whole social media part of it. They're actually doing it for the purpose that they are doing it for. Is she doing it more for fame, or is she doing it more for, to actually say he should have disclosed that he had herpes?
Right.
Right.
But
So that's what it is.
here's my thing. So, okay, no, not my thing, but a question is, do you think Usher should have revealed to her that he has herpes? You think if they did engage in sexual contact, he should have done that?
Yes, I believe so. If it's going that route of being unprotected, yes. The thing about herpes is the only time that you can get affected is when there's an actual flare up from herpes.
Mm.
I don't know if you know that. That's why she 2 years later she said that she didn't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's because if you're not in the flare up time from having herpes, you can, I believe, I'm not a doctor, but that's what I understand, is that you can't catch it.
What's a flare up? Like
So like herpes, genital herpes will show.
Oh, no, okay. Like cold sore.
Like a cold sore.
So
Yeah.
some
Like
people like
if you have a cold sore on your lip. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a cold sore on your lip and you kiss somebody with the cold sore on your lip, they're gonna catch the cold sore.
But if it's not there,
if it's not there, they're not gonna. This is what I understand. They're not gonna catch it.
yeah,
right?
no, because I worked with a girl and she would get a cold sore in the same spot all of like whenever it came, and she would say it was stress or something like that. And I was like, like I didn't really understand, but it came back in the same spot all the time. So they explained that she explained that it's like you kind of have it in you, I guess, and then stress brings it out from time to time. So I guess it's similar. Okay, forget it. You don't need to school me. So flare up, this is when it can be. So if he's not flared up then, or if it's not active, then she wouldn't catch it, is what you're saying.
Yes. So in those terms, yes, I see it. But it's the person, be aware.
Listen, here's my thing. Yeah, that would be nice if everybody was open and honest and upfront about everything that they did, because having a STD or whatever, it's or infection or disease or whatever, is something that people should let someone know. But then there's also the fact that, okay, I just had another girl sit, like, not to be too graphic, but I just had sex with someone else and I didn't wash myself off. So is that like, that's something else that you should probably let someone else know before they come into contact with you. You know what I mean? I think there are a lot of things that people should let people know before you engage in like sexual contact with them, but they don't. So because of that, especially when you're in a one night, or like you just met someone and you're going to sleep with them, when you meet them, celebrity or not, you have to go in there with a little bit of sense and knowledge to say, I probably don't know everything I should know about this person, so let me protect myself.
Right.
So I think
as the person themselves, they should be saying that, right?
yeah, the person that's going to get down with the person, the celebrity in this case. So
Right.
my thing is, I think for that reason alone, it being a one night stand, which, okay, you don't know it was going to be one night because you don't know what's going to happen after. But let's just assume he's passing through your city. This is your one hit, you know, with Usher. You know what I mean? Let's just, like, the chances of that happening are greater than this becoming like a relationship and him leaving his wife for you. So
Right.
you got that. And then you got the fact that you just got a call from this man and you went over and you chatted for a bit and you had sex with him. It's kind of like, I think, and it's not a judgment on the person that goes to, I'm not judging her. I'm just saying in this in with these details, I think that should just throw this out the window to say sorry. Like, you can't expect to know everything you need to know from this person,
In
and
that short period
in
of
that
time.
short period of time, because you look like you were already ready to go get down. Like, you went with the intention of
Of getting down.
now, and you engage like it was consensual. So now if this was a question of, you know, or an issue of rape or being forced,
Then
that's
that's a
different.
totally different story.
And I will never let, no one can ever tell me that because you go to a hotel room at 3 o'clock in the morning with a man, you should expect sex. No. But if you go there and you engage in it and you like, you decide, yeah, okay, I'm going to, then what comes of that is your responsibility too, is my point. So I don't really even know how, but you know, it's law and this is how they protect. But anyway, back to what you're saying about her character being called into question. She actually, oh Lord, Nettie, you're so loud. She actually
Sorry.
she had been posting, like you said, there's an account that she uses. What is it? Quantisha Angel, what? Oh,
Angel
Angel,
or something.
right, Simpson or whatever it is. I think you said you posted it on your page, where she is saying things about well, you know, needing money, and then the next line, you know, my last hours as a regular girl, as in this is going to, you know, put her into celebrity status and everybody's going to know of her and her life is going to change all of a sudden, which, I mean, people do know your name now and are talking about you, but it's not for like, I don't know what she was thinking and what she was expecting, but people are coming out hard, and because of her size, she happens to be
They're fat shaming her.
a big girl. Yeah, she's a big
Yeah.
girl. So people are finding it hard to believe that Usher would actually even want her. So people are like saying, okay, yeah, you're full of it, because Usher would never even go there. And because of that, it's like a self-esteem thing. She's looking for attention because of her size. I wouldn't jump to that because she looks like a very confident girl. If you look at her page, or the page that is listed under her name, which is still open and growing, I think her followers are growing. She's actually photographed with, like, she has pics up with other R&B artists, and so one being August Alsina, who she actually lied about, I think a couple of years ago, saying that she was pregnant with his twins.
Yes. Exactly.
She's also said that she was involved with Keith Powers. I think he's one of the guys that was in the the New Edition story, if I'm not mistaken, the one who played Ronnie. So she's been doing this, and she's been trying to get put on. She's leaked information and stories about her sexual activity with these R&B artists. Yeah, she's leaked it to, like, some of these these gossip websites and gossip Instagram accounts. And this is what she's about. And I don't know how that lawyer missed all this or didn't get all this information, because I mean, her story is just falling apart. But I wonder if she has a case, like if they're really gonna end up because if you remember this herpes thing has been out for a minute with Usher. And like we said, there's two other people who are suing him. And he actually settled a case. I don't know if the dollar amount is right, but I heard it was 20 mil. But he settled a case. I don't know if it was how it was paid out or if that's what the person got. But he settled a case with a female years ago, a few years back.
Right.
I think it was 2012. And I think it's on record that he actually has herpes, and he's never publicly denied that he has it. So that's not really, that's not what's being questioned. It's now people coming out. And I'm thinking, okay, you have someone coming out now. Clearly they can't do a test to say, okay, did she actually sleep with him? Unless she has photos to prove. It's like, anybody can come out now and say, okay, I slept with Usher and he didn't tell me I had herpes, and now I'm emotionally distraught. You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking, like,
right. And she doesn't have herpes right now.
Exactly.
So it's
and that's the
like,
big. As soon as I heard it, I was like, what's your motivation? Like, for what?
Right. That's why I'm saying the motivation is more. I think is more for fame than anything else.
I think it's fame, and I think it's money. And I mean, because clearly, if she has a lawyer, they're taking it and they're going to try to get money from him, right? And also the fame. But I'm just looking, and I'm saying, yo, you got some confidence to you, because to come out, and then she did post something after being, like you said, fat shamed. She did post something along the lines saying, along the lines of, I had a baby, I've gained a lot of weight. And so she's kind of defending why she's so big. And she goes, oh, don't get it twisted. I had to rush to do that press conference. I usually put myself together. And so that's what made me go through her Instagram today to see, okay, let me see what she looked like a couple years ago, a few years ago. And girlfriend looks the same. So I don't know where, but I'm like, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your look and that's how you feel comfortable and you feel you're beautiful, don't play into that. You know what I mean? So clearly she's concerned about her image and what she looks like and how people are receiving her. And I'm thinking, for such a young girl, 21 years old, to put your face and your name out there, for something like this, but this is I mean, the reason I am going to follow up on this case is I want to see how they're going to tackle this, which I think now with everything that's come out, I think the lawyer might drop her, but I just want to see, can she actually get something out of this? Because I would be amazed. I would be blown away to know.
I'd be blown away from this too. But you know
Yeah,
how it is in the state, anything can happen.
listen, I'm telling you. And they sue for anything. I mean, the amount of people I know that live stateside that their aunties, their mom, their cousins, like everyone has sued somebody or some establishment. And I'm like, suing is like, I don't know, it's like getting a job, going for a job for them. It's like, okay, what's next? The next hustle type of thing. So I guess it's something that they're used to doing, but
They're used to it, yeah. And people are getting paid out left and right. Even McDonald's got sued because the coffee was hot. They didn't tell her that the coffee was hot when she ordered coffee. The lady who had the coffee one
I
time, you
remember
know that
that.
one, right?
hmm That
She was
was a
drinking
very
coffee.
long time ago, but
Yeah,
no, but well, yeah, they were able to make a good argument out of that. I remember that coming up in one of my law classes, but they're, and I mean, you think it's hot, but is it hot enough to burn you like that kind of hot? You know what I mean? That type of thing. So, um, yeah, but it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what, and she has a young baby, like she has a 1-year-old. And I'm
yeah.
thinking, you have, someone said, I don't know if this is true, that she has 3 children and that, and, but I don't know that much. Um, but it's really sad. But on the other hand, now Usher, oh, and then the other part of it is one of the 3 people suing him now is actually a male who said he engaged in
Yeah,
oral sex with him.
I heard
And
that too.
so that's a
That
whole
that's the one
other.
that got me. A whole other story.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Usher is married, or, and I was trying to remember how long he's been married to this current wife, but he's been dating, and I know he got married kind of quickly with his wife now, but still he's been dating and then married to his wife. And so at some point it's like, Usher, you need to cut it out too. You need to stop. And don't, you know what I mean? You're kind of like, he's part of the equation, he's part of the problem. So I'm not gonna like release him. But this little girl, yeah, she needs to. I think she's gonna vanish kind of soon because, well, I can't say that. I would hope that she would, just because her case, I don't know if she really has a case, and she's just, I don't think people are gonna ease up on her. And I think going back to a point I wanted to make, people are saying about fat shaming her, and I think it's not so much about that. I think it's the anger and just how ridiculous this whole case sounds. Like her not having herpes, but still coming out 2 years later talking about emotional distress. And,
Yeah,
you know, and so it's like, okay, people could see through your story and they're just going to attack you on anything. I'm sure she's being
right.
attacked for her name. She's being attacked for her, like her size, her hairdo, like not having a hairstyle, like, you know what I mean? So it's, I don't think it's that people, um, I'm pretty sure if this woman came up and she had an amazing story about her life, I'm sure half the people, or more than half the people, would not be commenting on her weight. You know what I mean? So this idea of
I don't like the weight part of it is one thing that people are taking the stories and going with, but I think that the more important part is how she presented herself on social media before the press conference. Charlemagne, you watched that the video that I sent you?
mhm.
Charlemagne said it perfectly. He wrapped it up all in that one video, and I'm gonna post it on my Facebook after the show so people can see that because he basically he he said exactly how it is. Like, how are you going on a press conference, having a press conference to tell people that you don't have herpes? You're mad that he had herpes, but you don't have it. So what's the press conference for,
Exactly.
right?
No,
I can
it's
understand that.
definitely, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, like it's publicity. Like you're, and even the other people who still remain nameless, we probably won't ever find out who those people are because they still want to have their life. Like
Exactly.
how could she do this to herself? That's what
Hmm.
my whole thing is. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And we have opened these doors to this type of thing because of social media, because everything spreads faster than news, like on TV now.
Hmm.
Like you can find out stuff faster on your cell phone than CP24 before they even get to the scene. Somebody's recorded on their phone and posted to social media. You
True.
get what I mean? Like
True.
it's
Yeah.
all faster than news now.
And I think
So this
it's,
is,
I mean, this need, this desire to be famous. It's like it's social media, but combined with this whole reality TV, um, the effect that that's had on us. And I mean that this is going back years as well. And I think it's all of this, like wanting to be famous, and
somebody's gonna
and
have a show or something, and she's gonna be on it.
I don't know. I don't think I don't know if she'll make it that far. I mean, it's
I think
possible.
so.
Guess what? With the right publicists, the right PR people, and if they can make the right connections for you, hey, anything can happen in this world. Um, but there's so much that's coming out, and it's crazy to think that as crazy as this is, there's going to be something coming out within the next few days that's going to top this, or within the next week that's gonna like push this to the background. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
did you see this? Did you hear this? Or you know what I mean? It takes a split second for something to happen that now is the new big thing to talk about. Because already
Yeah.
I think it's overkill. Already, people reposting and reposting. I think people are gonna get sick of it, sick of seeing her in that same one shirt. It's just you're just gonna get tired of it. You know what I mean? And so I guess, take advantage of it and try to do what you can while the story's hot, you know what I mean, for Usher, but some way somehow it's gonna fade. And
It's almost like the Cash Me Outside girl. You know that
exactly. I
running
thought
for
of
a
her
while.
too. Yeah. I mean, she got a show. I think she had a reality show, but I don't even know if that's going to come out because if they continue to test the waters and they're like, okay, we don't see anybody talking about you anymore, we don't see any posts, it's dead. Okay, who's really going
Yeah.
to invest that kind of money when there's the next, unless they're going to, you might see a show at the like next year with the one hit wonders of 2017, that kind of thing, you know what I mean, that might feature all these people. And that's the thing, you might have someone come with that idea and like, okay, let's gather up all the biggest losers of last year, social media losers, and make a show with them and put them in a house where they can fight each other and talk about who had the bigger story, and that might be the one that. But trust me, I think people are kind of over that foolishness. But um it's crazy though, and I'm just like, for such a young girl to put herself out there like this, and this lawyer basically pimping her, like, I mean, they're working together, but mm-mm. I just think it's so sad, and I'm like, where are your parents? Where are your
Yeah.
friends? Like, where are the people that say,
Like,
"Girl, like,
girl,
don't
don't
do it,"
do this.
right?
Don't do it.
But she is, no, she's on a mission, and I don't know where she comes from, how she's living, but I guess she's like, anything would be better than nothing, like at this point, and better than what she's doing right now. So I don't
Right.
know,
And
but
I put on, like, on my Instagram, I put on poor Usher on there because I feel like, as like celebrities and stuff like that, there's just so much like responsibility on them, and people can just like take advantage at any time and exploit the person, and then all of a sudden you're like the new social media like talk about town and stuff like that. Like R. Kelly was in there just like a couple weeks ago,
there you
and
go.
then
See? Hmm.
you, you know what I mean? It's kind of like the reason why I said poor Usher is because this guy is probably just trying to live his life and do his music and stuff, and then now all of a sudden he's out there and you know and whatnot. If it was any other regular person, it wouldn't have gone like this. You get what I
True,
mean?
but I mean, listen, you roll with these people, and you put yourself. Usher is a grown man. I think he's 39 years old. He knows what he's doing. He knows
Yes, but
about people. He's been in the industry since he was a kid. So he's been exposed to a lot. So he has to be very careful with what
Yes,
he's
he
doing as
has to
well.
be very careful.
So
But
to
what
me,
I'm
there's
saying
no
is,
poor Usher. Mm.
as for her, if she had sex with Joe, who was her next door neighbor around the corner from where she lives or something, would she be making a press conference?
Oh, definitely not.
Exactly. So why does he feel that this all of a sudden shamed her like emotional distress? If it was somebody around the corner, there wouldn't be any emotional distress. She would be thanking the Lord that she didn't get herpes.
Exactly. But there's like
Emotional
some
distress
dollar
comes,
signs, there's some zeros behind Usher's
yeah,
name. And
right.
that's
So then, so the
and
whole motivation is
celebrity,
not
yeah.
emotional. It's not emotional stress. It's money.
Oh,
Because if it
definitely.
was,
Yeah.
yeah. So then how? So then right there, the judge should just throw the case out.
Yes, but I mean, who's to say, you know? And
There's
if they
only
do,
emotional stress because it's Usher. If it was a guy down the street, if there would be no emotional stress, you wouldn't be saying that. Do you agree or disagree?
no, I think you were just cutting out. I totally agree, but Nettie, but that's
Yeah,
the game you play. And because you're Usher, you need to know your status and that something that happens with my name versus Joe Blow next door is going to be a little more sensational, and people are going to come after me for money. So you need to know, and I mean that's like every celebrity, athlete, um any even like top CEOs or anything. You got to keep yourself clean. And I think Usher has no business. I mean, it's part of the game, but listen, there are chicks on the scene that are kind of professional at knowing the game, and they they're not going to ruin their reputation. So that's who Usher needs to stick with. Like the girls that, you know what I mean? But you can't pick just an average girl that's going to catch feelings, I guess. You know what I mean? But and Usher, like he's married, chill. So
yeah.
you put yourself out there like that, it's like you're something can happen. So that's why I would say I'm not saying poor Usher. No, he's a grown man who knows what he's doing. But yeah, definitely she's not listen, it's so clear what she's and I think it's more money is number one and then fame obviously comes after that. But I also think I sent you the video where Usher was on stage at one of his shows, and the girl that was pulled up to from the crowd to perform with Usher happened to be a girl of about the same size as this girl.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and she gave him a nice little piece of dancing on him, like lap dance. So,
yeah.
and
But that's part of the entertainment business. You have to put on a
yes.
show.
And the other, I know exactly, but I'm saying that one can look at that. And I mean, that could be used in a court of law, like where they don't know anything about Usher. They don't follow Usher. They've never been to an Usher show. And if they use that clip and show Usher chose this full figured woman to come up and give him a lap dance, and he's laying back there with his eyes closed, screaming like he's enjoying it and looking at her and smiling. For whatever reason, if they use that to say, see, he does enjoy women. Like they don't, maybe they don't even want to say that, but they're going to use it to say it's sexual, like he's very sexual, and this is a type of woman that he likes. They might not even spell it out, but once you see that, it puts a little question mark in your head, like, oh, maybe, yeah, um, this is this is his
I've
style.
been.
So the story is believable. And now if she I mean, I think you would need doctors, like some doctor proof or something to say you were going through something, or I don't know, you're gonna need somebody to say, yeah, she didn't seem herself, ever since she heard this, she seemed, I don't know how they're gonna prove it, but guess what? I would be amazed. I would be amazed to hear if this girl comes out with anything. So I'll be keeping my eye out on
I
this
I
story. But
I I will be shocked, but at the same time, I won't be shocked because of all of the press around it and stuff like that, and the media attention and stuff. I feel like she's gonna get something out of it. just because of how high profile. I feel like they're just going to give her something.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think
Maybe
she played herself, like you said, with the post that about wanting money, and then the other one about her scamming, trying to scam other people about being pregnant with twins, and talking about being in a
yeah,
relationship with
all of
someone
that
for
stuff.
a year and a half that really wasn't. I think all that's going to work against her, and she just seems like yeah, like an attention seeking, money hungry, like whatever, fill in the blank. You know what I mean? That is just now on to another victim. So I don't think so, but you never know. So last thing I want to touch on, because it is about that time for us to wrap. Usain Bolt.
Yes.
So actually, yeah, my heart
Yes.
sank. I was down at the parade. Um, he ran his last professional world championship 100-meter race, and he's already made it clear. I mean, he did, I think it was about a month or a little over a month ago, he ran his last race in Jamaica, which was very emotional. And I don't know why, but it's not like, you know what I mean? But it was just like, wow, okay, this is a career coming to an end. Um, and so the IAAF World Championship that's happening over in London right now um, is where he ran his last race last Saturday afternoon, and or yeah, anyway, and he actually came in going in as the favorite to win it, but he came out as with the bronze medal, the third
Oh
in
yeah.
the final behind Gatlin, which has been one of his main rivals in the last few years in the 100-meter, and
Yeah.
a new guy, I forget his name, Coleman is his last name though. I think is it Christian Coleman. Anyway, another American. So, ugh, that just
And
makes
how
me
come no one
cringe
remembers
too.
his name?
Who? The next guy?
The second guy.
Oh, well, it's not that nobody remembers him, but he's a very young guy. He's just starting out his career. And
Yeah.
he just like, I mean, it was like it's point whatever seconds that separated the three of them. So it's
Yeah.
not as if Bolt like lost bad or anything like that. And I just think he had a bad start, and he didn't pick up like he normally does though, because we expect him by, I don't know, 50 meters, 60 meters, something to just come up and go past them. But in this particular race, he didn't. And so it was, so we're down at Caribana. I pulled it up. I pull it up to see, and I watch a YouTube video, and I see that Bolt lost. I was like, my heart sank. I was like, no, honestly, I was like, first of all, I was like not believing what I saw. And then, no, I'm lying. I didn't watch the video then.
You watched
I
it as a
saw
drive
I saw
home.
a little clip. I saw a little snippet of it, and I saw the results. That's what I saw. It wasn't until we were in the car when you played it. Yeah. But I got the news basically on the parade, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. I don't even want to see the details, and to know Gatlin won. I mean, they've had a healthy rivalry where they've respected each other, but at the same time,
Yeah.
he has said some things, and just the Americans in general, they always have something to say negative against anybody else that is killing it. And I mean, how you can speak anything negative about Bolt and try to talk about doping and all that stuff with this man, he's had
Yeah. That
pretty much a
that
15-year
reporter.
career. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. So that came up. Um, but like he's had about, I don't know how long he's been a professional, but when he first started, like 2002, um, he's had a pretty clean record. And so I think for anybody to try to bring that up at this point, especially when he's going into like retirement from track and field, and after all that he's done, I think it's just ridiculous. But
Yeah. The reporter, I understood where the reporter was coming from with the comments,
which
but
was,
it was
say it.
still so. So what the report is,
the time.
There was a reporter that spoke to all three of them after the race, right?
Well, this was the interview that I saw. The reporter was asking Bolt, but kind of addressing it to all three of them.
Yes.
About the times, because the times were significantly slower than that of like Seoul Olympics and whatever else. All the other times that have been out there in the past, overall, the times were a lot slower, right? So then what announcer was that reporter, I keep saying announcer, what that reporter was saying is that could this be due to the new laws about blood doping and stuff like that? If people don't know what blood doping is when you take out a liter of your blood months or whatever before the race, and then you put it back in, so you have extra oxygen, which gives you more energy and makes your times faster and stuff like that. And it's not a drug. Did you know that?
Okay, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, because we have how many liters is it? I think it's 4 or 5 liters in our bodies normally. So you take a liter out and you store it, and your body reproduces, so you get yourself back up to 4 or 5 liters. And then when you put the blood back in, now you have 6 liters of blood in your body instead of 5 or whatever the normal amount is, right? So then you have extra oxygen, extra blood flow, so it makes your body, you perform better. So this is how lots of athletes have been doing it for a long time, because there's no drug, because you can't do a drug test for it. Yeah, because it's your blood, right? So now they're saying that there's been new laws or whatever. So what the reporter was trying to say is, has this been a cause of the slower times? And to do that, right after the race, when these guys are, both retiring and stuff like that, and these two guys just got their first and second place, it's kind of like uncalled for and kind of.
And I think they took it as saying that they wouldn't ask if those were 3 white athletes sitting up there. They wouldn't have asked, that particular reporter probably wouldn't have asked that question of them.
Yeah.
He just felt he could. That was what another point that was made. But I think at the same time, like you said, you understand what he was saying. And I think drugs, doping, all that stuff is a part of like sports, and especially track and field. It always comes up. But yeah. But for Bolt to feel, for that question to be directed at him, and especially at this time when he's retiring and he's had a clean. Gatlin has not been totally clean his career. He was, I think, stripped of a medal and or what's the word when you can't race? Like you're basically out, whatever.
Yeah.
But like not disqualified, but you're not able to, based on testing that was done. The Coleman guy, I don't think he's had anything, because like I said, he's very young and new to this, and he actually took the silver medal. And but I just think, Bolt's face said it all too in the photo. He's kind of like, what, you really asking me that? Because they have nothing on Bolt like that. And I think, I mean, he has had a pretty flawless career. I mean, his biggest battle has been injuries. This man has been injured a few times, and he's built back and he's come back from his injuries. I think he had like 1 false start in a major race, which he was disqualified for, because it was like, 1 and that's it kind of thing.
Right.
But this man, and you know what, I just wanted to say, because I took it kind of hard, but no, it's like one of these things where one moment in life, one race can't define you. And definitely in his case, one race, especially, I mean, it's hard being the last one, and it's hard to see him lose to who he lost to, and then, or come second or behind, sorry, who he came behind. But I think looking at his total career, knowing he's still the fastest human in the world, you know what I mean? He still has that time recorded. For anybody to come and beat or even match his record right now, I don't know if we're going to see this. As far as his Olympic medals, his he still has like the world record time for the 4x100 for men,
Yeah.
the 200, the 100. He's beat his own best time, world record time and time
Yes.
again. You know what I mean? And I think that 958. I think that is
Yes.
still that he did like in 2008, 2009. I think that still stands as the fastest time. So I think you have to really look at his total career and beyond the numbers and the medals, the effect he has on people in this world as being one of, if not the most recognizable athlete, or one of, for
Yeah.
sure. Like
I wish
living.
that he just stayed retired after the last win that he had there in the Olympics.
Nah,
My
I think he just needs to cut his damn hair because he had a little too much hair on his head. That added, no, that added that point, whatever, 0.2 millisecond, whatever seconds on his time. That's what caught. No, his hair needed to cut down. Seriously, like that. Those little details. I'm telling you. And he had like, if you look at his hair, people go on YouTube or whatever and go look at the race and look at Bolt's hair. And I'm sorry, his girl, you should have told him that to cut your hair down because he looks better with it cut. And and he, I think, would have run just a little tiny bit faster. So
You're saying you didn't like the scruffy look.
no, I don't like the scruffy look on everybody, and I don't really like it. And on certain people, it doesn't look as scruffy as it does on others. But honestly, it's
I
not
got a
about the.
scruffy look going on right now.
Okay, and I'm not seeing you, so that's a good thing. So,
I can turn
and
my video
whoever's
cam
looking at
on.
your scruff and they like it, more power to both of y'all. But my point is, I'm not talking about the looks thing because I'm talking about his hair. Just could have, I think it added, it added a little time.
No,
Seriously,
it was
and he's
it
gonna.
was
I think he regrets that.
his start.
But he's still the champ. He's still the world's fastest, and I still want to send props
Yeah.
or send some love out to Usain Bolt as a Jamaican, and that's it. Anyway, thank you for joining us. KINETIC was having technical issues, so we lost him, and he did ask me to tell everybody good night. If you want to catch up with him, it's iKinetic100 on Instagram. Yeah, that's the only place to follow him. NEDDY NYCE. It's NEDDY NYCE _gym life.
Sorry,
And
that's my Instagram. Yes.
your Instagram.
And the other one is Too Nice Photography. The number 2 CE photography.
Okay, that's his other one, his business. He's trying to get your business people. And for me, it's Cake with Care C on both Twitter and Instagram. So you can follow all of us in that way. I lied. I didn't put the link up. I'm sorry. I just got caught up, people. And then I was trying to get KINETIC back on the line. So blame him, not me. But thanks again for listening. Like I said, if you missed the show or missed part of the show, you can look at or watch all episodes on vexradio.com. Also on the YouTube page which is Cake with Care C, if you search it that way, and you'll see all past episodes there, or check your favorite podcast player. And
nice.
Yeah, you can check there. Also, vexradio.com is the best place to listen to hip hop and R&B, old school, new school, 24/7. So check it out, and you can send in a request to hear your favorite song. The phone number to call, 1-877-469-3016. Choose option 2 to request a song, and option 1 to send a shout out, which actually you record in your voice, and it is played sometime during the day, a couple times. So again, the number 877-469-3016. option 1 to send a shout out, option 2 to request your song, and come back and join us again next Tuesday at 9 o'clock right here, vexradio.com. We'll be here talking about a bunch of other things next week. So yeah, until then, have a great night. Take care. Thanks again, Neddy, for joining us. Are you going to be away next week, or are you actually going to be around possibly?
Next week,
oh Lord.
I have to do a camp thing. Let's see, what's the date? The 14th.
Okay, bye. Yeah. I didn't really want to get all detailed. I thought yes or no, you're there or not.
The week after I'll be here.
Okay, we'll see. Alrighty. Have a good night. Okay, people, take care.